Hey, everybody. Mommy Ivy. Of course, you are absolutely waiting. I love you guys. So I'm going to just wait until I have some people peter in. And so, what was it? This weekend, we got like amazing news, right? Super amazing news. And what was the amazing news? The amazing news was we finally monetized. And for all my brothers and sisters out there, content creators that I've engaged with, that I've talked to, and that I've grown with, we all know that that is not an easy process to go through. And then in addition, we learned very quickly that the monetization part, right? Even though it's long and drawn out and there's a lot of work that you have to do, like this is just the beginning. And you're like, what? Yes, it's just the beginning. There's a lot more work that is going to go into it. Just goes into whatever you're doing. And it's one of those things where before you get there, like when you're about to cross that finish line, there's just some things that you should do and things that you should be aware of so you don't hurt yourself too much in the process, right? Trying to pivot or to create and narrow down your needs. There's so many different things to do. Thank you, Mommy. She says, Zin Ivy says, wow. Oh, wow. I love the hair. Thank you, Salamat. I love this hair too. I had my hair braided. Like I had it in, I had somebody dread my hair, right? In something called Dreamy Locks. And I love the look. It was just really heavy and it super pulled on my hair. And I left it in there for like a week after my photo shoot. And then I just couldn't handle it anymore. I had to take it out. It pulled on my hair so much. And that's not the first time I have had my hair in braids or dreads. So I have a full understanding and appreciation for all of my people out there that actually do that to your head and do that much pulling on your scalp. That's a lot. And it is not comfortable. It is painful. I mean, if you see, and I'm sure you've seen me doing it in videos, but if you see anybody and they're just to their head trying just not to do it, or they have it wrapped because they want to make sure that their do stays there for as long as possible, because it's not cheap, people. It is not cheap. So I have a much more fuller understanding and appreciation for the people who get their hair done like that. So it was beautiful, but extremely uncomfortable. I'll just say for about 5 or 6 days, I just could not get a good night's sleep. It interrupted my sleep. That's how much it was just. Anyways, for anybody who is here, please don't forget to like this live stream. And then I love engaging with you guys. Irene Vargas, the yoga and fitness queen is in the house. Thank you, Mummies in Ivy. Oh, love it. Congratulations, Superchat. Much love. I'm loving the stickers. This will be my first time that I've been able to experience this. And I have a lot of brothers and sisters who have, that I've seen do it. And I've seen the work that they put in, what they do, and like the progression of their videos. So like, oh, thank you so much. Hello, gracias, France. Yes. Thank you, sister. Thank you for being here. Thank you guys so much for being here. But I wanted to like talk about your progress, like everybody's progress. Where are we, collectively as content creators, right? Trying to build a different life for ourselves, trying to show the world what our life is like sharing who we are and growing, right? We all kind of just trying to race to that monetization line for whatever specific variations of why we want to do it. Is wherever you are in the process, like where are you at in the process? And like, what does that make you feel like right now? I mean, have you monetized already? And if you did monetize, like, when did it dawn on you that the monetization was not the finish line? That's what I want to know. It's not the finish line. And like, where are you right now? Like, how many more, how many more bananas do you need? And like, where is your palace at right now? Like, if you're building the foundation of your house. So I got 1 billion subscribers. That was a huge benchmark for me. And it was a huge benchmark for everyone else that I work with. Subrilan family, thank you guys for being here. Oh, you're watching from work? Don't get in trouble. I don't want you to get in trouble. I get on my son about this because he'll get in trouble for like being in school or doing what he's supposed to be doing and like watching YouTube, and I'll be like, that's like, it's one of those things. We kind of have to choose when we do it. But yeah, I got it. And I so love your presence here. Thank you, Alana. Thank you guys so much. So yeah, where are you guys? Here's how I started, right? So my YouTube channel, and of course, like the ability to have a YouTube channel, actually log into it, starts with your Google account. So I had opened my Google account. Oh, Gracias Fran says, I love your background. Thank you. I'd like changed this thing like 3 or 4 times within like since February, because I've been trying to get the ambiance going, right? So I wanted to get natural light during the day and then still be able to function and not actually be able to see the door that comes in and out of my my office space. So it's hiding over there behind the shade. See? And then it's a little farther away from all the other activity in my house, but it's still close enough to where sometimes I get sound or people walk in or the dogs start barking, just all kinds of stuff. Twins Rose. Hello. My beautiful Venus. And my sister. She's for real, my sister. Thank you, Ate. Woo. Thank you so much. So what were we talking about? We were talking about like when I got started. So my Gmail, and I'm trying to think. Like I remember my Facebook was active. My Facebook was activated around 2007. 2007, maybe sooner than that. Gosh. All right, around maybe 2005, around there. My Facebook had been activated. My Gmail account, and when YouTube kind of fell into it, I didn't actually create an account until 2018. And thank you, gracias, France. That's my sister who is in France, who is working up there. And if you guys have not seen her channels, please go check that out. Her stuff is awesome and amazing. And she just gets to use all these French products. And I'm so jealous that she gets to use all these French beauty products. Love. Beauty products. Yes. Where was I? My brain like goes pew. Okay, so yeah, 2018. So I started a channel in 2018, and I had named it Softly Spoken Sister because I wanted to start doing guided meditations and personal development. But then like I just didn't do anything with the channel because I didn't feel good about myself. I didn't feel confident in front of a camera. I had been going through a lot of stuff since my experiences in Iraq during serving over there in the Army active duty during Operation Iraqi Freedom is what we called it. But you know, the tours and like just the whole what the United States called the war on terrorism, it just did a number on my brain. I like totally did a number on my head. And the person that I was when I went there was not the person who came back. So trying to find the purpose for myself and to come back to who I was and really redefine what I wanted in my life and where I wanted to be with my family. And like, how am I going to do that? Right. Yes. Gracias, friend says, let's spread our love and support to each other. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, not a camera girl, but end up showing my face. True. But I just had a lot of stuff to work through, and a lot of the medications that doctors would give me and the constant therapies that I had to go to, like none of that actually worked. Like it didn't work. In fact, it was making me worse. I think one of the things that I do have that some people call attention to and they think it's funny and they think that, you know, I can actually control it and I can't, is my tardive dyskinesia. And tardive dyskinesia, from what the doctors are telling me, okay, they told me this, even though I don't believe it. They told me that my involuntary muscle convulsions in my body and in my face, like when I contort or grimace, like I'll be like, when I'm doing something, right? I know you've caught me doing it. You guys have caught me doing it. Sometimes when I'm talking to somebody else, you've caught me making faces. And that's the thing, is like, I can't control those. I can't control those at all. Oh, good night, friends. Yes, I know it's super late for you, and I so appreciate you being here, and I love you, and please be safe, okay? Please be safe. I'm hoping that the tone of my voice will make you nice and relaxed, and you will go to sleep. So yeah, none of this stuff is working, and I have tardive dyskinesia, so I make faces, and I have hand twitches, and you know, I have convulsions on muscle spasms on like one side of my body more than the other, but there's nothing I could do about that. And that was supposedly a side effect, a very rare but serious side effect of some of these medications that I had been put on because of the emotional and mental state that I happened to be in. That was their only solution, was to give me the kind of stuff that would give me that kind of side effect. And then when I wanted to control my movements, they told me that the only way to do it was to put me on a medication that was exactly the same type of medication that gave me this in the first place. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So I had to find my own way to try and live my life and try to deal with my tardive dyskinesia, which makes people feel super uncomfortable. It's really hard to get people to like you if they be around you long enough to see you making faces and making sounds that you can't control. I mean, that's like trying to be a person, like take what I have and like magnify it and you get Tourette's, right? And they really can't control their function. They can't control their outbursts of vocabulary, whatever their mind is coming up with. They're not able to communicate in the way that they need to communicate as smoothly as you and I. And their muscle convulsions and their outbursts, their vocal outbursts, they can't control that. And of course, the only way for them to control that is some kind of medication that actually makes that part of our brain worse. So their only way to deal with that is to dumb down the brain and hurt it more. So I decided not to do that. I had to build my own thing. And when I did build my own thing, I went to the natural world. So I started using essential oils. I started using foods, changing my diet, where I got my food, how much of the food I was eating, a lot of meditation, specific kinds of exercises. So I moved away from, because I was I was doing weightlifting, and I'm a big solid chick, right? I'm Polynesian, I'm Hawaiian with a little bit of Samoan and a bunch of other stuff thrown in there. But I had to start moving into different kinds of, thank you, Alana. Thank you so much. Oh yes, go to sleep, girl. Go to sleep. And I will talk to you. I'll see you on Facebook. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Please sleep well, rest well. So I had to change my exercise to be something that was going to be just as intensive, but allow me to have a fuller range of motion, because not just whatever is going on with me, that no one can tell me what's going on with me. It's like I have grayscale. So anyone who's watched like Game of Thrones, if you've ever watched Game of Thrones, and if you haven't, you should see it. Don't read the books because then you won't want to finish the books. It'll piss you off. I didn't even finish all the books because they made me mad. Like by book 3, I was like throwing the book out the door, and I think I broke a window. But grayscale is like it's a disease, right? That literally turns people into stone. And that's kind of what it feels like. Like my body is slowly and surely from my injury area, which is my neck, down is stiffening it up and the spasm. So I'm not sure where it comes from, and no other doctor can tell me to. So I have all these actual physical things, but inside, okay, thank you, Alana, for spending your break with me. I love you. Thank you so much. So like that was the physical stuff that was going like on the outside. So I have chronic pain. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on with me on the outside, but on the inside, like emotionally, mentally, like I was not in a good place. And to protect myself from going into the, going to the point of no return, which a lot of soldiers have done in the past, which is why they're no longer here with us, because the pain was too much. Whether it was the emotional pain, the mental pain, or just the physical pain of the kinds of injuries or the things that we've been through, it was just too much for them to bear. And so they ended their time here. And I did not want to get there. I did not want to do that. That's just not who I am. That's not who any of us are, right? We could just get tired. And sometimes the pain and the weight is so much that your brain convinces you that you are all by yourself and that nothing can be done and there's no way you can do anything. And before I got to the point of despair, I started to take action. And one of the things I needed to do was I needed to learn how to reconnect with people, because I realized after supporting these engagements that were taking human life, that were causing men, women, children, husbands, brothers, fathers to lose their lives, and not just on, the opposing faction side, but our side too, right? Things that we were doing, we were losing people. I lost coworkers, friends, people who I was really close with, people that I knew. And when you lose them, not because of a natural reason, it messes with you even more, especially if you saw that person and they left the world in a very violent way. Okay, I'll try to leave this as PG as I can. But when that happens, it changes you, right? It changes you and how you see the world. So I kind of like lost my faith in humanity. I just did. And in order to save my own life, I had to reconnect. And I had to figure out how could I do that and still try to like build a life that was fulfilling for me, that wasn't going to focus on all the things that sucked in my life and that didn't cause me to have to take these medications that just made me worse and gave me side effects that I needed more medication for. So I kind of just built a road that worked for me. And then when I found all these systems and put them into place, because that's like a strength that I have, right? I'm very strategic. I can see how things work. I can see systems inside of systems, and I can put those puzzles together and find out how it fits for other people. So I did that for myself. And then when I showed other people what I was doing, when they started doing it, they found their way out too. And I started realizing that this kind of system works for a lot of people that deal with life obstacles, traumas, pains, or like just stuck points, right? That we put ourselves in because of what we experience or what we think. So trying to reconnect and actually going into business for myself was like one of the steps to save my own life. And I had to because nobody else can do that for you. I just want you to know, with all the people who love me and who were there for me and who cared for me, you get into a point where it's just you in your head, right? Because really, it's like, even when you're surrounded in a room of people, have you ever felt like you were alone? That's kind of like what it feels like when you're dealing with that level of pain, any kind of pain and suffering. So I had to do it by myself. We all really have to make those decisions at that time, those points, right? That what we call the dark night of the soul. where you have to figure out who you are and what you want to do with your life. The biggest suffering point and time that you deal with. It's called the dark night of the soul. So I had to work my way through that. In trying to do that, I ran into a group of people who started doing their own movies, right? They started doing their own channels. They started doing their own place, streaming their things. They were making videos on their phones, and they were doing, right. I read blogs. I like reading people's articles and they talk about stuff, but this was a vlog. These were video logs of people's lives. And I started to go, like, if I needed to know how to build a rail system for pots and pans, I just went on YouTube. If I wanted to learn how to make bows, I just went on YouTube, because people were starting to do things on YouTube, and it was starting to become like this huge platform that wasn't just for entertainment, but there was a lot of entertainment. And this was a way that I could get out my message and who I was out to everybody else in a safe environment. Like, it was a safe place for me to be. It was a safe place for me to engage. And once I figured out that you could do it and put it on there, I'm like, yay, I'm putting videos on there. But then I had no idea how to get people to watch them. So I ran into a group. And they used to call themselves, it was just Zimu at the time. And we were basically just a group of people who wanted to help increase other people while we were trying to do our work in YouTube and change, who's watching us, how many viewers do you have, how do you get subscribers, all that stuff. And it was actually work, but some of these people had been doing the work and were willing to share that information for free. And that's how I met some of these most amazing people, is through this. And then, people, your circles change. So sometimes your goals change, your purpose might change. The people that you choose to be around, or the people that uplift you, make you feel positive, those change too. So I ended up changing circles because different things were happening in our lives, right? 2020 happened. Oh my gosh, 2020. What is wrong with this year? It's like the craziest year of everybody's life. And you know what? I don't think it's over. I don't think when the number year ends that this whole chaos energy, change energy is going to change anytime soon. I do not believe that. I think it's going to be here for a few more years, not just 1 year. So it's a good time to make connections and talk to people and find people you can support and build those relationships, right? That's the other thing I loved about YouTube. You can connect. I mean, genuinely connect with people who like who you are and what you do. And using, Facebook. Oh my gosh, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. TikTok's like my new thing. It's so much fun. I can be goofy on TikTok. And you guys don't even know. If you knew me before I started my YouTube journey, you would be like, who is that? And what did you do with Nuala? I swear. Because I'm allowing myself to feel like I'm worthy. Like, I am worthy to have this. I'm worthy of connecting with other people. I'm worthy of having amazing friends that have beautiful souls, right? I am worthy of all of the things that I desire in my life that's going to help me to be happy and so I can live a fulfilled life. And in increasing myself with abundance, I'll finally be able to increase others the way I want to.
Baby's worthy.
Hi. That's my baby. He is and has been the greatest blessing in my life, I have to say. I am so pleased. And, even as supportive and as loving as he is, I still just had this issue with myself, even this whole time we were together. I have to say that I appreciate him and I have much gratitude for him, because he puts up with me the worst parts of who I am and then celebrates with me the best of who I am. And I think we do that for each other. So I'm so glad for that. Oh, hey, babe. Everybody says hi. I said everybody's saying hi, Kuya. He says hi. Yeah, that's my babe, my babes. But that was why I got started on YouTube. And so let's discuss real quick tips, tricks, free things, right? This is like a huge question for everybody right now. They ask me stuff that it seems like it's really a big deal. It does. But when you're working with a small amount of resources, you really got to think about, you can't think about a $2,000 camera if you can't afford a $2,000 camera. And you can't be talking about like a $200 light system or like the most expensive tripods or like the most expensive sound systems. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh my God, there's my mommy V. Veronica, Thrifty Essentials, Mukbang Queen. Thank you so much for being here. I love you. This lady has gone through so much, but this is one of my hearts. So, Twin Rose, that's my ate. That's my sister. And then Zen Ivy, same thing. She's beautiful. I got a mommy Ivy because like the wisdom coming off of her and like the gorgeous stuff that she has is just amazing. And then of course there's Mommy V, who has the channel Thrifty Essentials. Great content, mukbang, real controversial stuff, sharing of her life, and I have just been able to grow with these women, right? And also men, because the Kirkdale is going to be around here somewhere. I can feel it. I can feel the Kirkdale will be here soon. But it's just, you see the growth in people. And so the first thing I want to tell you is if you're worried about like cameras and your lighting and your sound and like expensive editing, don't. Right. The first thing to know about getting your YouTube channel out there is just to put content on YouTube. That's it. Just do it. Make a video, put it up there. Make a video, put it up there. You're going to learn along the way. And YouTube has done a lot of things by adding the content creators, people who actually work, creators who've been on YouTube for years are talking about, how to do your best. And the finish line is not the monetization, right? The monetization is actually your start point. So you're running to what you think is monetization as a finish line, but it's not. It's a start point. And you really need to figure out how to do some of the basics before you monetize, or else you're really going to feel rushed. And I don't want you to feel rushed, okay? There's people out there who have hundreds of thousands of views that don't have perfect videos. They just don't. They don't have perfect sound. They don't have like perfect skin. They're just creating content, and people find them and they latch onto that, and you find your audience. So the first point was just get your videos out there. Just do it. Right. And the second thing is, when you're talking about like, well, what kind of camera should I use? Right. Do you have a phone? Right. Some of these phones are super close competitive to what you can get from a $2,500 camera, I swear. And we're talking about filters, lighting. They don't yet have, they might, some of these versions might have night vision, the NVG vision for the phones. Some of them actually have that. They have a bunch of things, filters and ways and adjustments on the size of your picture, whether it's the focus stability. So some of these phones are like super hot. You do not have to go buy a separate camera to go do videos. If you have a phone that can create videos, you can actually film yourself. You can take pictures and make, flip books. There's lots of different things to do on a YouTube channel. Right? I'm probably, you want to stay within the platform that you're doing. So if you're doing podcasts, you can actually film a podcast and put it here. But that, a YouTube podcast, and YouTube is for video content. It's meant for that. There's lots of other ways that you can do it, but it's video content. So if you're doing a podcast and you're videoing your podcast, so you're going to actually take the audio and put it into your podcast host and go ahead and put that all over the place in the different places that it'll share you with. That's okay, but it's not predominantly for just sound, it's visual. So you want both. So you have to learn the platform that you're going to be on. And so we're talking about podcasting. We just talked about cameras. Let's talk about sound. These cell phones have amazing sound quality. And a lot of times, if you want to tweak that, all you need is an editor. There are some great editors just for cell phones. Caden Live is one of them. They have Caden Live Mobile, and they have it on I would suggest that you use it on PC, some kind of desktop or laptop if you're going to do that, to have it on here. But it's a completely free editing form. They have KineMaster. Viva Video is not that expensive if you're going to pay for it. They do have free service sides of it, but there are parts like if you're going to switch and flip it, like if you want like special emojis or you want little sparklies and all that kind of good stuff, if you want sparkly crispy things, then you're going to have to pay extra stuff. There are ways, I'm not going to say it's cheap, but there are people out there that do share ways for you to get specific kinds of software that have been made available to all people. I'm just going to put it that way. I would say, Joe, do what your conscience and your karma can afford. My life has been too crazy. I am not trying to tell the universe to squash me for doing something wrong. So thank you, Veronica. Yeah. Normally it's not this crisp. It's kind of weird. But it is tonight. So usually it looks kind of foggy or hazy. And I've cleaned it and I've tweaked my video card. This is like the best video. It's like 2 steps down from the highest level video cards you can have. Because I am a gamer, right? I got to make sure I have specs. But that's not necessary to actually do video. And you can really get a nice, clean, crisp quality video from your cell phone. A lot of times my cell phone video comes out nice and clean, way cleaner than anything that I do for my streaming. And right now I'm using one of the top sold streaming cameras to be able to do like video conferencing and stuff. It's very hard to find online for the price. And if you do find it, they like charge you twice as much. So if you are going to get specific things off of Amazon, you are actually looking to upgrade your equipment, let me know. I will let you know something that actually works well, that's sourced properly, and that you're not going to pay 3 times the amount you're supposed to, because a lot of people will do that. They'll look at what's trending, because that's what people do. They'll look at what's trending, they'll buy up a bunch of it, and then they'll mark it up to $300, 300% retail. So shop around, do your research, look for something that's going to be in between what you need and what you'd like. So just kind of keep it right here. And that goes for like anything. But any kind of videos, use your phone, right? You literally, some of the best YouTubers out there that make content, just make content from their phone. You don't have to get fancy, but you do have to create content and put it out there. There are other things that are free that you can use. There are people who do the free licensing music. And let me tell you, when you're about to monetize, you're going to have to go through every single video that you have and check it for copyrighted content, right? It's nice that YouTube has integrated, because they just added this. They integrated a sound library to where you can actually do editing, simple editing just off of YouTube Studio, right? Which is free. It's just kind of part of YouTube services. And they have a sound library. So if you are looking at something and maybe you used a third-party device like Viva Video, and the music that happens to be on that part of that video, even though it's part of that app, is a copyrighted, right? They didn't license you to use it. Even if you use the attribution, that doesn't mean that you're not going to get marked for copyright content that could demonetize you. So you're going to have to go through every single video, and you're going to have to check to make sure that you're not going to lose your monetization because of copyright infringement. Really, if you're creating your own content, you don't have to worry about that. But anybody who is using any kind of pictures, any kind of sounds, if you didn't create it yourself, if you didn't buy the license to be able to use it, right? Like you don't belong to like Artlist.io, where for as long as you have the subscription, you have full use of license of all of the music that's on there. Libraries and libraries of different kinds of music that you can use. However, there's a stipulation, like if you keep making content and you no longer have that license and your subscription stopped, but your videos continue to use those without, you didn't already have it while you had your subscription, that those licenses are not permanent, they're temporary. So you have to be very careful. So you have to kind of become a lawyer. You have to kind of know about the copyright laws. You also have to know about the difference between what gets copyrighted in your nation and internationally. That's like totally two different things. And if you want to make sure that you're protecting yourself, please protect your channels. Right? There are people who have been working on their YouTube channels and they had an amazing following. Their videos were great. They're finally like in mastery mode, right? Where they're just living their best life, being in the mastery that they've acquired while making their YouTube channels. And then it gets hacked and stolen from them. They lose everything. And so if you don't want to do that, you have to make sure you protect your YouTube channel. That means your Google account that's attached to your YouTube channel should not have the same password as anything else ever. Right? That means it better not be used on any other account. No bank accounts, no shopping accounts, nothing. Not even your phone. So whatever you use just for your Google account that has your YouTube attached to it, right? Completely separate password. And it better not have any words in it that are in the dictionary. It better not have your birth date in it. It better not have like the location of where you come from. Any information that's easy for people to have, right, should not be in your password. That's just not a good idea. And unless you are 100% positive that you have like a super, super hard to crack password, you really should be updating your password every 90 days. Yes, it's a pain in the butt to do that. It is. But before I was a life coach and before I was a boss lady and a work from home mama and all that other good, happy stuff, before I was the gamer hippie, I used to do IT in the military. And I tell you what, they changed their passwords a lot. And they changed their passwords a lot because people try to hack it a lot. So that's just trying to get into somebody's stuff for government reasons. If your channel is really good and you're making a lot of money and you have a great following, right, you now become a target. You're already out there in the public. You're already putting yourself out there on a public media, right? A social public media. That means that you're also automatically a target. So make sure that you use the secondary authentication on all of your accounts and make sure that your password is not the same as any other account that you're using. Change your password every 90 days. And if you refuse to change your password every 90 days, at least make sure that you get a credit theft protection service, right? And legal service to where they actively monitor. That means they will send you an alert immediately if they find something hokey. Like I've been in 12 information breaches in the last 5 years. That means any information that they collected that I had, right, I have been alerted to. I've had to go through and change every single account's password, even if it was an account that I don't even use anymore, or like I don't even use that service, or I don't go anymore. I'm not a student anymore. I still had to go in there and change the password, or to change every other password that was the same because it was compromised. They found it sold on the dark web. Yes, that does happen. So that's something to consider, is make sure that you are absolutely protected, because you do not want to lose your YouTube asset after you've been working on it for so long. That would crush you. I swear, I would be crying. I don't cry. I cry when I get pissed. So I would definitely be crying. I cry when I'm happy and I don't cry when I'm pissed. I don't cry when I'm sad. It's weird. I don't get sad, I get angry. But so those are just some simple stuffs. Those are just simple stuffs. And so working with the right group of people to help you to know what to do, that are there to support you, that can get you in an understanding of what the algorithm of YouTube is, right? There's other tools and tips and tricks and stuff that you can use that cost you money, right? Or you can work with people who just want to help uplift each other, and they already understand how to do this because they already watch YouTube. You know, they already use YouTube. They already watch like their favorite mukbangs, and they love their cooking shows. They love their kid channels. They love people who do like their own specialized little episodes for whether it's like drama episode, or some of them are really nice. I was surprised. Or like Mr. Ballin. If you really like creepy, because I've been doing a lot of like creepy reaction type stuff, but Mr. Ballin, he is like a storyteller, and he says the most he'll take and do some research on a story, and then he'll tell it to you in the way that that he perceives it, and he like delivers it to you. And the way that he does it, he just puts you right in there, like he's right there with you, and just even when he's talking and stuff, it just gives you goosebumps. It's like super creepy. So his name is Mr. Ballin, Ballen. My husband really loves his channel. I kind of like will be passing by and like I get glued to the screen. Like I'll be walking to the kitchen and I'll be like, until like the whole video's over. It's stupid. But that's it. So yeah, there's ways that you can go about it if you have money to throw at a problem. But you know what? So many of our brothers and sisters come from parts and the regions of the world where this is all they have. So if this is all they have, that doesn't mean that they can't reach the higher echelons of anything, right? That just means this is what you have right now. So we have groups of people that love to help other people to grow, even if that's all you have, and then teach you how to get to that monetization line, and then what to do after you get there. Right? So this is when we start learning about narrowing your niche, or finding out what your niche is, you know, how to read your analytics, how to do all these things. And it's not just us doing this anymore. Now YouTube has people whose platform is built on teaching people how to use these free and simple tools free. So they kind of just connected with us, the universe, all the collective of the humans decided that YouTubers should have this information for free, because you did have some people out there trying to charge hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars just to teach people a system. And you know what? I get it. Everybody should have money. And if they can afford to give that kind of money to learn those systems and speed bag their way there, great. But you know what? 80% of the world does not. So my heart is with the people that need a hand up, right? Reach down to pull up when you're doing good. And when you're not doing good, you reach up and wait for somebody to pull you up. And that's what I did. So thank you guys for being here. I super celebrate everything. I celebrate you guys. I celebrate like just every single breath that I take at this moment. I just have so much gratitude. I celebrate this channel and this work. I so much gratitude for my family and my husband. And even though there are some things that are not optimal right now, and there's still a lot of crazy and chaos and a lot of stuff that I'm dealing with that's just it's not happy stuff. I know that everything's going to be okay. And I know that I will always have the lifelong friends that I created on my journey to this point. And that there's just nowhere else to go but up. Right, ladies? My sisters, I am talking to my trifecta sisters here. There's no way to go but up. I love you guys, and I love your support, and I love giving you my support. And I promise now that I can focus on my channel and not have to run around like a headless chicken with all the other businesses I have. I'll be much more fully engaged in helping our communities to grow, helping give you guys the support that you need, paying attention and creating those videos that not just entertain, because of course I love to be entertained, to be entertaining, but also so that we can connect on a deeper level and then everybody reaches the finish line at the same time, right? Because we all need to win. And that's just all there is to that. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your super chats. Like those are the first I ever got. I'm going to keep this video and download it and keep it forever in the cloud, because this just means, I'm not going to cry. This means so much. And you guys mean so much. And I don't know. Thank you. Thank you. And I want to thank Brother Armand. Yes. Brother Armand Nicholas. He was a really big inspiration and a really big boost up in the beginning. And even when I couldn't really work with anybody, all the lessons that I learned from everybody that I worked with since last year, just everything that I've worked with everybody brought something special to the table, right? Everybody did. And I just love how, even if we're not in the same circles or we don't get to talk or engage with each other all the time anymore, you know, your presence and what you left with me, it's just going to be there forever for the rest of my life. So thank you. So much love. And before I leave, I'm going to leave you with the same thing I leave all the time. I want you to be kind, be love, be brave, be you, right? And don't forget, you know, this life is a game. It is. This whole thing's a game, like a 3D simulated game. All you need is a cheat code. So let's do that together. Let's figure out God mode together. Okay. Much love, much aloha. Peace. We did it.